Dame Lillard, 7-time All-Star, but his days in Portland, they may be numbered. Reports say Clippers, Celtics, they both have interest, but he, quote, wants to be in Miami, period, close quote. This is the same Miami Heat team that is coming off a loss in the NBA Finals. I did not write that. Somebody else wrote that, Joy. I don't know why they had that subtle jab.
That's factual. Where did they lose, though?
They lost in the NBA Finals. Operative word there being lost or NBA Finals. You can choose.
You can choose.
You can choose. Okay, here's what's most fascinating. All eyes have been on Dame Lillard, not because he's a guy. All eyes have been on Dame Lillard because he is a superstar. He is the guy. All eyes have been on Dame Lillard because he is a all-NBA talent. All eyes have been on Dame Lillard because we have been led to believe that where Dame Lillard goes, if he goes to the right place, a championship will follow. Joy, are you convinced, when you talk about Miami and how great that organization has been, are you convinced that Dame Lillard is the missing piece for the Heat?
I am convinced. So there's no guarantees in anything, in any of these moves, as we know. But if you are talking about best case scenario, if you add Dame to the Miami Heat, the Heat are going to be considered one of the best teams in the East and in the league.
Yeah.
Now, everyone might start picking apart all the other things, which I'm sure we're going to get to in a few moments. But if you're talking about adding a piece like Damian Lillard to a core group of stars, which is the scenario in which this would happen, it would be Jimmy Butler, Dame, and Bam. They'll figure out the rest of the roster, obviously, whenever the trades worked out. That's a team that you would consider in contention for the NBA Finals, to come out of the East at the very least. Well, the Heat, with the core without Damian Lillard, have been the representative for the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals 2 of the last 4 years. So you add Dame to an organization that's run by Pat Riley. I don't need to get into Pat's, resume here, but they call him the Godfather for a reason. He's been a part of 25% of the NBA Finals in league history. Solid start. Spoelstra has coached in quite a few finals himself and won multiple championships. This is a core, a culture and an organization that knows how to put together competitive teams. So obviously a trade is going to be made here. And to me, the Heat have the best foundation for that trade to happen.
I think that's really well said. I think it's really, really well said.
That's right.
I don't agree with it, but I think it's really well said. Here is my issue with Dame, and I don't want to say it too loudly because I don't want everybody.
Well, you are live, so
you are on TV.
I don't want everybody.
Even if you whisper, they're gonna hear you.
You're right. You're right.
And then we're gonna put it on social media.
Is Dame actually as good as everybody has led me to believe? The reason I question that is because Dame was in a place for a mighty long time.
Wait, start that over. Say that one more time. I ain't hear my the earpiece on this ear. Go ahead, say that again.
Is Dame actually as good as everyone has led us to believe? The only reason I say that is not because he's not a top 75 player, not because he's one of the best players of the generation. It is this. Dame has been in a place for a mighty long time. And I have seen other players in places for long times who have gone further than Dame Lillard has gone. I grew up, James, born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Finally, after a long time coming, I saw Dirk Nowitzki bring the Mavs to a title with their second best player being a 6-man, notably in Jason Terry, or their second best player being a 37-year-old Jason Kidd. They had Brandon Haywood, I believe, getting minutes. You had Tyson Chandler getting minutes. Like, that was not a daunting roster, oh my God. But Dirk Nowitzki, and by the grace of God, the Miami Heat did in fact collapse. I've seen Giannis Antetokounmpo win in Milwaukee when they hadn't won in 50 years. Clearly, we just saw what the Joker did in Denver. There for 8 years. Giannis there for 10 years. Dirk ended up being there for 20 years, but at the time in which he won was there for about 9 to 11. I've just seen players win in organizations that historically can't win. So, Slick, that's the only reason I'm not convinced Dame is a missing piece, because if he was a missing piece, he would have, in my mind, already been crowned king.
Yeah, I don't know if he... I would agree with the idea that if he were that guy, if he were him, that he would have won in Portland. But I am with you with the idea that I would have thought he would have gotten closer. He went to the Western Conference Finals once and got swept, all right? Now, do I think that he could be the missing piece of the Miami Heat? Yes, I do. I do.
Say it with confidence now.
But not this coming season. Because here's the issue that I have, is if to Joy's point, if I was just adding him to last year's Miami Heat team, I got no problem saying that's the team to beat, certainly in the Eastern Conference. They're going back. But they've already lost Gabe Vincent. They've already lost Max Strus. And I don't know which pieces, but I assume some of them are going to be going back the other way in order for Damian to go to Miami. Now, I know, Joy, I know Miami's history.
You caught it by government.
Of Joy Taylor, of developing players, but they don't do it. They don't pick them up off the street. They don't draft them or not draft them and invite them in and develop them right away. When they got swept 2 years ago in the first round, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus and Duncan Robinson were all on that team. The following year, when the Eastern Conference Finals, Caleb Morton was on that team. Those guys were not the players that they are now. Like, they need 2 or 3 years to get them. So the real question is, can they develop the rest of the team once they get Damian Lillard in order to reconstitute what they have now?
Number one, Dame Lillard is that dude, right? You have, Dame Lillard is one of the best players in the world in the NBA. You have LeBron James, multiple superstars going like that. That mean Dame time. That mean Dame has showed you he is that dude. If he goes to the Miami Heat, he is absolutely the missing piece. Right? Now, I do agree with you. If they can keep Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero, one of them, I'm not saying both. If Pat can find out a way to keep one of them and give up picks just so you have another shooter around them, the Miami Heat with Dame Lillard on that team, he is the missing piece. Dame Lillard went to the Western Conference Finals, and the best player on his team, well, the second best player on his team besides him, was C.J. McCollum. Right? He wouldn't be in a lot of people's top 20, top 30 in the NBA. That was Dame Lillard's wingman, the best player on his team, and he went to the playoffs 8 years in a row.
Fair.
Like, Dame Lillard can take a team to the playoffs by himself. So once you get to the playoffs, now you got Bam, now you got Jimmy Buckets, and now you got a team that Pat Riley's going to put around these dudes. Absolutely, especially in the East, the team to beat. Dame will be in the finals again. I mean, not again, but the Heat will be in the finals again with Dame Lillard.
Here's the only thing that I think we might be missing, at least I might be missing up until now, is being a great player isn't just about having moments. And being a great player isn't just about you being individually great. To me, being a great player is watching other players around you excel. Right? Think about what the Joker has done with Jamal Murray. Think about what the Joker has helped do with Aaron Gordon. Think about what the Joker has helped do with Michael Porter Jr.
Hear the names that you were saying? These is first rounders and ballers in the NBA.
They are.
Name some of them dudes on Portland.
But have not always been ballers. Aaron Gordon has not always been a baller. He was most
dominant in Orlando.
He was most known for his slam dunk contest in 2016, jumping over hoverboard.
You mean to tell me Aaron Gordon wasn't like that in Orlando?
He wasn't like Aaron. He's not like Aaron Gordon that was locking up KD supposedly. Aaron Gordon was most known. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but he was most known for a slam dunk contest.
He was the best player on that Orlando Magic.
Okay, it's not saying a lot.
Not winning.
But my thought is you make other people around you better. McCollum has been just as good, if not better, since he went to New Orleans. As soon as he went to New Orleans, he started getting more buckets. So I'm just sitting here saying,
where they been?
What are we saying?
I'm saying that
Where New Orleans been?
I am not convinced that Dame is as good as everybody is trying to make him out to be, thus assuming he's just going to go to Miami and win. Because if he were, I believe there would have been more winning done in Portland. Because I believe that the players around him would have elevated.
8 playoff appearances is not winning?
4 playoff series won in 11 years.
With who? Acho.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we're bouncing around a lot here. We're not really breaking down the rosters that were in Portland's, specifically that roster that went the farthest. I mean, I have it here if you want me to read off the starting lineup.
Please, George.
Nurk, CJ, Gary Trent.
Dame, starting lineup was Dame, CJ, Maurice Harkless, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Ennis Freedom,
Oh, Lord Jesus.
and Myers Leonard.
But what was Miami Heat starting lineup this year?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because
Dallas
everyone continues to talk about the Miami Heat's roster. And I really appreciate that we have all educated ourselves and we've finally come to the point where we can graduate into new information, right? Because all postseason I heard that these guys were not serious players, that they were not stars, that they were nope. I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to allow it. They were
serious.
not. Nobody was picking them against in any series.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody. When Jimmy went down, it was like it's a wrap.
No, we picked them against the Knicks.
We did pick them against the Knicks.
Okay, I'll give you guys the Knicks. That's very edgy of you. Very edgy.
That is it, though.
That is it. Okay.
Cling on to that one.
So I hear you on the Heat's developing players, but again, anyone who gets Dame is going to be giving up a significant amount of capital to get him.
Yep.
So if you're going to ask to go somewhere, wouldn't you feel more comfortable going somewhere, knowing that this is a massive trade that's going to happen, going somewhere that has the ability to put together rosters like the Heat have, develop or bring in free agents or sign people and put them in the right position to win. Anywhere he goes, they're going to be emptying the cupboard. That's a given.
Sure.
Why do you think
you're
they're going to be entering the cupboard?
What?
Emptying the cupboard.
I don't know. Because he's
that
really
dude.
good. Because he's a top 75 player.
Well, but it's also the position that the Miami Heat are in, and you're kind of shifting this to why wouldn't Dame go to the Miami Heat above any place else?
Well, of course, there's nowhere else to go. It's the most solid place. Like, it's tough to make an argument for anywhere else. The only other place I would even entertain is the Bucks, and there's still a lot of questions about the Bucks roster.
But here's the question. This is to me is the question: is he the missing piece for them to win a championship? And I could make the case. That in much the same way that Steph, Draymond, and Klay Thompson all benefited because of their respective abilities, made each one of them better. They fit together. I could make a case that Damian Lillard and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and their strengths and their weaknesses are the same complement that Dre, Klay, and Steph have, right?
Yeah.
However, have we seen it just be Steph, Klay, and Dre win a championship?
No, of course you need a rest of the roster.
Exactly.
Okay, so then let's not talk about Phoenix this year. Let's not talk about Phoenix this year. Let's not talk about the Lakers this year. Unless you are a complete top-to-bottom built roster like the Nuggets, no one should be in the conversation
but not only
for winning the championship.
It is easy to put players around superstars. It is easy to put players around superstars. You have 3 all-star players on your roster. It'll be easy to be able to build a team around those 3 superstars. Just like when Patrick Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill. He is the greatest thrower of the football. Of course. Put anybody in the Andy Reid offense as a receiver, and Patrick Mahomes is going to make you right, just like playing with Aaron Rodgers. If you have 3 all-stars, it is easy to put players around those guys.
Well, this is a great line of demarcation of this conversation because you make a phenomenal point. You named players that, in my mind, it does not matter. They make everybody around them better. Where I am saying is not that Dame is not that good. I am simply saying I am not convinced that Dame makes everybody around him better.
Does Jimmy?
I believe that Jimmy oftentimes does.
Oftentimes?
Correct. I believe that he does.
All the time. Since he stepped foot in Miami, you best not say Jimmy doesn't make players around him better.
But here's what we know. Jimmy has not been able to get it done either, and Jimmy has played with
Because he needs one more superstar with him.
Here's what I am getting at, and here's what I'm getting at is I'm just not sure that Dame is going to be the dude that all of a sudden the whole tide will float because of Dame Lillard's arrival. If Dame was that dude, I believe that in 11 years we would have seen it by now. Russell Westbrook is a top 75 player. I don't believe Russell Westbrook's style of play is conducive to winning championships.
You think Russ and Dame are the same?
I think Russ is significantly better if you think about accolades. Russ has had a significantly better career than Dame Lillard. Significantly better, and it is not comparable.
You think
one is an MVP,
but you think Russ's game plugging into another organization and Dame's game playing into another organization is the same?
Not right now. No, not right now. But there was a period in time, if we all recall, when Russ was on his transition out of OKC, and everybody was like, "Where Russ about to go? The Lakers got to get them some Russ." Before Russell Westbrook, we all thought Russell Westbrook was that dude.
Damian and Russell are not the same type of player.
I think Dame is getting the bad end of this stick because Portland has never really put a solid team around him, right? So why is he going to pass up some of them shots that Dame Time is taking to try to get his teammates involved? And his teammates ain't like that. We just talked about the best teammate he had was CJ. And CJ is not in the top 20. Dame ain't had these teams. If Dame is on a team like Miami and had those shooters around him, I guarantee them dudes is going to be better. I guarantee you that. With what Dame's bring, I guarantee you they are going to be better. With him, with those two superstars and the team they put around him in Miami, when he does go to Miami, they are going to be a contender.
Talk about it.
When he goes to Miami.
When?
We'll be watching, and I will be waiting.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.